Hello guys, welcome to another edition of the Sndpodcast Show on the Sports Network. Steven here with Dan.
Hello guys, how's it going tonight?
Before we get started, we have a packed show today. A great show today.
Very fun.
We're gonna explain a couple changes to the show. Dan, explain the Sports Network.
Well, a couple months ago, our friend Keith Black, co-founder of Sports Schmucks, was doing fantasy football, and him and his friend started to come through together, set up a home blogging network called Sports Schmucks, and they asked us that since we knew that we're having a home blog podcast sort of thing, that if we were interested to help out and do our show and try to make this website build and grow. Also, it's going to be a lot of blogging about people's opinions on sports, not really an update ESPN kind of. So it's pretty much opinion based.
Nothing breaking news, basically.
Breaking news. Pretty much freelancing per se. So me and Steve hopped on that, and we think it's going to be fun. So they were on board with us helping them out.
There will be a link on the YouTube page. We're still going to do the YouTube for now. Eventually, the plan is to turn it into iTunes, an iTunes podcast. There will be a link on our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and also the YouTube page. Also, if you forget, just feel like messaging us on our Facebook page, and we'll be glad to let you know what the website is, send you a link. Also, I would like to introduce the music for today. A good buddy of mine, Brian, from football games, from the Giant games, his band, he's the drummer of the band Division 1.1.
Yes, good stuff. That's the first time I actually listened to it. Good job, guys. I can't wait to be listening and playing all this music throughout the rest of our podcast.
We're probably going to take out the Jet chant and also the Giants song that we usually play leading into those segments type things, and we're going to keep their music in, and we'll just keep using their music. It's great stuff. It's pump-up stuff, really, if you ask me.
And we're going to start, since football's winding down, we're going to try to become a more sports show, not just football.
Basically, there will be a link on our Facebook page for Division 1.1's Facebook page. There'll also be, I'll tweet it out, we're going to get them out as well. Great group of guys with great music. We just like to have fun. Just keep listening. Thanks for bearing with us for now, guys. I hope everybody had a great New Year.
Yeah.
Pack show today. Do a little Giants. We got a little review of Sunday. Fortunately, things didn't fall the way we wanted to. Jet review from Sunday. But the key with the Jets is that we're not just going to do the Jet review. We're going to do the Jet Bill review / a Jet season review with the first ever Sndpodcast guest, a good friend of mine, Matt, who will be here later in the show.
That's going to be fun. Me and him are very, as you've seen on each other's Facebooks, that we kind of have different similar personalities, but different outlook on things. So it's going to be fun tonight, and I'm excited.
We'll also do a little Giant season review. Just a heads up about the next couple of weeks. So we're going to run this show basically based on the playoffs. We'll do this week. We'll talk. Matt's going to stick around. We're going to do Wild Card Weekend coming up this weekend. We're going to do our predictions. We're going to do award predictions tonight as well. We're going to do actually a full playoff prediction type thing.
Do we get shenanigans on our Super Bowl picks, or are we going to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do fresh start, even though both teams are in it, but, well, the Texans, yeah. All three of us are going to make our Super Bowl picks, our playoff picks for each round. Yes, I know that there's so many possibilities for divisional rounds depending on who wins which games during the wild card, but we will make our predictions based on who we think will win each wild card game. For example, if we pick the Vikings, since they are the lowest seed, they're guaranteed to play in Atlanta next week. So let's say that. So that type of thing. We'll keep it going. We'll also do all the awards, MVP. What other awards we got?
Coach of the Year, GM of the Year, so on and so on.
Comeback player, offensive, defensive rookie, also offensive player, comeback player. We will also do some BCS, National Championship. I know Dan is excited for that.
Finally, it's been
Notre Dame, Monday night, Notre Dame, Alabama. We'll also talk Cotton Bowl because the Heisman Trophy winner is in it. We'll just give a prediction.
Johnny
No big.
Football.
So later in the show, we're going to have Dan give Notre Dame a motivational speech. Matt is pulling for Alabama, so he's going to give Alabama a motivational speech as well. Fun show ahead of us. Unfortunately, the Giants season didn't end the way we wanted it to, but let's talk Giants.
Alright, this week we're going to start off with the Giants. It was a fun game. I was at the game. Unfortunately, it didn't mean anything by the end of the game. The Giants won 42-7. Eli Manning had 5 touchdown passes, career high. 2 touchdowns to Ruben Randall, rookie. He's going to do big things next year. David Wilson with a reception touchdown. Henry Hernosky with the Rhino dance. That was nice to see.
His first career touchdown, by the way.
So we finally got to see the Rhino dance in production, which was great to see. The defense played well. Vic was shaky. The Eagles, at first, they started the game with the onside kick. And
we all thought it was
going to be like, oh, here we go. This is the way we're going to end the season. But the Giants prevailed. They won. Unfortunately,
Stevie Brown was another interception.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice interception. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the cards this year. It sucks to say, especially coming off the Super Bowl win last year. The Super Bowl champs do not make the playoffs. It was a good year. 9-7. It could have been better. It could have been a lot worse.
Coughlin said it today. If not making the playoffs the year after a Super Bowl doesn't motivate you to work, nothing will.
Yep.
That's just the way you gotta look at it.
It leaves a bad taste. It's just very frustrating. It was like watching the game on Sunday, freezing my butt off. And I'm like, where was this the last 2 weeks? If we had just a little bit of motivation like we did on Sunday. The Giants, offensively next year, is fine. It's middle of the pack, 14th ranked offensively.
From this past year, 14th. I think they could be better.
But yeah, they stalled a lot in the red zones, which affected a lot of it. And the defense just needs to get it going. This year,
ranked
it was
31st
in the league. No pass rush this year. Everybody was triple teaming JPP. He only got 6 sacks this year, which was a 10 short of what he got last year. Tuck was nowhere to be found. OC was very, very invisible.
Here and there.
Here and there. A good game with the Packer game, but other than that, good riddance. It sucks that he's gone, but he ran his course for the Giants.
I told you today. He's going to end up wherever Steve Spagnuolo is.
That's going to be a good take. There's few bright spots in the defense, though. Stevie Brown's probably going to get banked now next year for the interceptions he got this year.
You got to hope nobody goes to overpay him and the Giants lose him.
But it sucks, but we'll probably get Kenny Phillips on the cheap next year because he was hurt pretty much the whole year. Antro Rolls is becoming the captain of the Giants. If he's not the captain of the team next year, there's something wrong.
He, I believe, will be going into a contract year.
He deserves it. He was around the team leaders and tackles again this year. Whatever the Giants need him to do, he goes.
He doesn't argue. He just does. Chase was the guy who led the team in tackles.
Yeah, that's going to be a big loss.
Antro was too.
A free agent.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he'll be back, but unfortunately he'll be a limited role.
Because I want to see if Herzlich comes through. Another year away from having cancer and everything like that. He's an amazing special teamer.
He started stepping up a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Played a lot during the games. Other guys as well. Corey Webster, it's either
I
pay
think
cut or goodbye.
Corey's taking a pay cut. He's too good. Unfortunately, he had a rough year. Another year with Prince Amukamara, who had a very solid year. You very rarely heard his name, which is good to hear when you're a cornerback. That and offensive line, when you don't hear your name, it's normally for a good reason. That's the one thing. I'm sorry for jumping, but if the offense had to fix something, it would have to be the offensive line and get some new blood. Half the offensive line are going to be free agents this year. Kevin Booth and Beatty are both free agents. I think Beatty might be restricted, but I'm almost positive they're both unrestricted. They just need a new blood. Maybe David Deal gets a pay cut, cap casualty. We don't know. They just need to get younger at the offensive line and keep Eli upright. And the run blocking was kind of shaky for the most part. That's 2 years in a row, and we just gotta get it going because David Wilson could become a Pro Bowler.
2013, bold prediction. You heard it here first. January 3rd, 2013, bold prediction. David Wilson breaks the single game rushing record next season.
Wow. Okay.
Calling it right now.
He could do it. He could definitely do it. He has the talent.
He has the talent. He has the speed.
I'm glad to see how he matured this year. First game of the year against Dallas, he fumbled on his first carry. He cried. Big deal. For the rest of the season, he was on the doghouse, but he always stepped up on kick returns. I hope to see he brings what he brought to the kick return to the running game next year. They're going to give him more carries because Bradshaw is running on empty.
He said it the best Monday. Where he said they asked him what he learned in his rookie year, and he said, "Don't make mistakes."
Yep.
It's as simple as that. And there's no better person to teach you. We learned it with Tiki back in the day.
Yeah.
There's no better person to help you with a fumbling problem than Tom Coughlin. Yeah. Tiki fumbled. He averaged one a game.
Yeah.
Before Coughlin.
I remember before Tiki's hot streak, his final 2 years, his greatest game was also his worst game. When the Giants needed to win against the Eagles.
2002, final week of the season.
2003, yeah, same. Yeah. 2002, 2003 season. Tiki broke 200 yards against the Eagles, but he fumbled three times. Thank God the Giants won the game. But that's what we're dealing with. He might be a little faster than Tiki. He might be.
Wilson?
Yeah. He's turbo. No, but Tiki had that quickness.
Tiki had that jolt, but Tiki never had that nobody can catch up to him speed.
Yeah.
Wilson might have that.
And he has that
once
little
he goes, he's gone.
Not only that, he's tough. Tiki wasn't that.
Tiki ran away from hits.
Wilson could take a hit.
But you know what? You're going to see that now because he's young and a rookie. You'll see him taking that extra step. But we saw that in Bradshaw. He used to run into guys all the time. Past couple of years, never really ran into guys. And this year he started to again because he knows that he has to. It's upsetting not making the playoffs, of course. It was still a really fun season besides those couple of games. I hope Chase is back. we're not going to really do much on the off season this year, this episode, because after the Super Bowl, we're going to have a off season preview show with the Giants and Jets, what we think they should do, what they should do in the drafts, our predictions and stuff. We'll also have one, of course, again, come training camp time, when free agents are done, drafting is over, trades are made, new guys are in. We're going to now go on to guys. The first ever S&D Podcast Show. Yes, welcome back.
Hello, everybody.
Happy to have you here. Really have an actual Jet fan.
Glad to be here.
We've been slacking after a while. Definitely giving up on the Jets.
Who hasn't?
So it's a nice fresh breath there of a passionate Jet fan.
End of the season on Sunday against Buffalo in Buffalo. Even though you didn't watch it, I'm sure you saw some highlights. Thoughts?
Just, everything that accumulated from the last month of the season. The offense is pathetic. Need a whole overhaul. Even though it can't happen.
What was your opinion? Did you like that they started Sanchez again? Or would you have gone Tebow?
Well, I would have started Sanchez only because, if Tebow plays and Tebow plays great, it'd be like, where was it the last 10 weeks? It would have had much better chance of making a run, and then if Tebow plays and he plays good.
I agree with Matt on this.
That's
because they'll look so stupid if Tebow just lit it up in the final game of the year, and everybody's like, where was this the whole season? And Rex and everybody going to be, Well,
I mean, I know it was against a weak Buffalo, but, still.
It's kind of, if you're going to end up keeping Sanchez, it's kind of a confidence. They were looking to give him a confidence booster, but, well, yeah. That didn't pan out.
Anyway, it was a rough year.
First losing season.
Yeah.
Got to give him that. First losing season under Rex. 4 years. 6-10. Well, Matt, here's your chance to vent.
Well, before he can vent, I have a question. Do you think with Revis and Santonio Holmes would have made a difference on this year?
Maybe Holmes. I mean, as Revis is,
Revis is
best, cover corner in the league, but Cromartie stepped it up big time. Yeah. And all the games that we were losing, the offense wasn't in the game anyway, so it didn't really matter. Like, even when we win a 7-6 game over Arizona, there's nothing there. Holmes is a weapon for Sanchez, which was given no weapons at all this season.
Right. I'm interested to see how Stephen Hill does next year.
Hope he can stay healthy first.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And who's playing quarterback? A lot of questions with this.
Let Matt vent, and then we'll ask the obvious questions. But
here's your chance, Matt. Get it all out. Remember, we're a family show.
As bad as Sanchez was this season, is no way he can't come back. That stupid salary of $8.5 million next year. He's owed way too much. Nobody's gonna take him. So it's gonna be better without having Tebow there, because this was his 4th season, right, or 5th season, something like that. 4. So Tebow is probably the reason why he digressed the most this season. I mean, because he plays 3 plays, comes out, goes back in, comes out. It's too much of that stupid Wildcat. It's the only reason why I worked one team. That was it with Miami. It works here and there for a play or two, but.
But to be honest with you, I watched most of the Jet games. Towards the end of the year, they stayed away from it, but I'm guessing the damage was already done, of course.
Yeah, there was no coming back from this season. I mean, as bad as it was, if they would have won out those last 5 games and even had somewhat of a chance, we would have got destroyed anyway by anybody makes the playoffs.
Oh, it would have been close.
Alright, so They broke NFL rules. They didn't have their end of the season press conferences like they're supposed to before the playoffs start. And they will be having it on Tuesday. What's Tuesday's date? The 8th. Rex and Woody are having a press conference together. My opinion, Woody Johnson gives Rex full control. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He basically has 1 year, build the team himself, open checkbook to him, build the team himself. If he doesn't succeed, he's gone. Like Andy Reid just said. Just build the team, he's gone. What do you think?
It's... I mean, that wouldn't surprise me either if that happened. I think the new GM is going to get rid of Rex. But it's weird that they're having a press conference together on Tuesday. But, you know, things could change knowing that.
Well, you haven't heard Jets talking to anybody. That's the thing. That's why I think Rex is going to get full control. Because then, next year, if Rex doesn't succeed, Woody can bring in everything new. Fire Rex, start from scratch. New GM, let him hire a coach. That's why he's staying away from the GM now. Just give Rex full control. Yeah, what's your opinion?
I think it's a good idea to keep Rex. For the standpoint of the Jets, their history doesn't really like coaches, per se. Rex is technically their greatest head coach ever in the history of the Jets. He had that last 2 years have been very rough for him, 8-8, and this year 6-10. But they need to build some consistency. And like this year was a just complete bomb. And I think maybe next year with Tebow gone, and maybe the Jets realize they draft some good players with the new GM, and they start winning again, and their defense is the main focal point, like it always is on the Rex. But it's a cluster right now, of course. A lot of cap problems with contracts and everything like that. A lot of players are going to be gone. I think they're going to semi-blow up the team, but somewhat be more decent. Maybe next year you'll be the time of the year that, hey, maybe we might make the playoffs, maybe not. But they're still going to be in the middle of the pack, and if Rex becomes Rex in his coaching style and his motivation, the Jets can go over the top. They just need to stay healthy with Revis and Santonio and get a couple of other pieces, especially in offense. Maybe a new running back. That's what I think. Sean Green's overrated. He's not that special.
The free agent. The cap casualties might be, you know, three quarters of our starting linebackers because Bart Scott's making too much. Calvin Pace's contract's bad, and Brian Thomas is just too old for this team right now, assuming he was drafted 10 years ago already. But Bart Scott said he wants to do anything to come back. He'll take a huge pay cut. He's more bark than bite.
Yeah, I'll honestly, I believe it when I see it. He's done. He's all talk now. He's just there because of Rex. So he's one of Rex's boys. As Brian Thomas, he's washed up. They need to re-sign Calvin.
Yeah, 100%. I think
100%.
Calvin's big.
Calvin with the two young rookies, Wilkerson and Copels. Well, Wilkerson isn't a rookie; he's a second year. But those two young guys with Pace as their third guy, and Harris clogging up the middle. It's a decent team. Their safeties, their secondary with Revis
free agents though. Landry and Jeremiah Bell.
Well, they're going to be able to re-sign one of them.
I think Bell more than Landry. Even though Landry made the Pro Bowl, he's going to want too much.
Yeah.
He's going to probably want multi.
Someone's going to overpay for him.
Without a doubt.
This guy's a beast.
But you get what I'm saying. Their defense is what kept them in 90% of the games.
When you say you don't draft a running back, Sean Green's overrated, I agree with that 100%. I mean, they are picking 9.
Yeah.
If somehow Kenyon Barner from Oregon could fall at 9, I would take him in a heartbeat. I think he's the best running back available.
maybe you get a tackle also to complement the other side with DeBrick, and there's a lot of holes in offense. They need another playmaker along with Santonio, a running back.
Is Santonio back?
Line.
Matt,
yes.
Antonio back?
Santonio's back, but Keller's gone.
Keller's definitely. I agree with Matt.
Keller's gonna go get more money. He's gonna look for money.
He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve. And Santonio's taking a pay cut.
Yeah, because he got hurt.
And he's still one strike away from being suspended for a full season.
Yep.
That's right. There's not really much else to say about the Jets. It is wild card weekend, and there's a lot of football to talk about.
Welcome back. Now we're going to be talking about the previews of this week's Wild Card Weekend. It's the most fun time of the year as NFL playoffs kick off. Teams that are deserving to make the playoffs and teams that aren't, but they sneak in. It's going to be very interesting what Steve and Matt and myself are going to partake in any moment.
What we're going to do is we're going to go in order. 4 games this weekend. We're going to go in order based on the way they're going to play. So, for example, Saturday 4:30 is the Bengals at the Texans. A rematch from last year. Big difference. No TJ Yates.
I guess I'll start off. I know the Texans are Titanic right now. And they were originally half of my Super Bowl prediction. And the Bengals are very hot with the running game and their defense. Atkins might be the most underrated player on defense in the whole entire league. And A.J. Green as one of the best wide receivers. The law firm Jarvis Ben Ellis is also a solid running back. Thing is, I don't trust Dalton. And another year, another Arian Foster game. I think the Texans finally wake up and stay alive for at least one more week.
Texans at home, got to give them a little bit of an edge. Our 5-point favorites. I don't know. I think the Texans are getting beaten up left and right. I think the law firm is going to come out and have a big game, trying to keep the Texans' offense off the field. Texans, they were supposed to be the one. They were the one all year, and then just blew it.
Yep.
They were handed everything, just like last year, and blew it. Dalton and A.J. Green, I think, is probably a top 5 passer receiver combo in the league. I don't see the Texans taking this game. I just feel like the Bengals are ready to play this week. They've played meaningful games all season. The Texans gave up when they needed to win. So, I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, for the mentally tough aspect, the Bengals have the Texans beat.
Yeah. And I think the Bengals are going to pull off the upset and win this week.
Well, yeah, since, the Texans have been struggling down the stretch ever since that game in Foxborough when they got humiliated on national television. They haven't played the same, but at that point they knew they were going to make the playoffs. Yeah, they're not the 1 seed. Maybe it's better that they are playing an extra game. I think, the running game for right now, the Bengals is going great right now, but it's going to be tough to get by J.J. Watt, who's probably the best
that's what I felt
DN in the league. So, and this isn't last year. Now, Matt Schaub's back. Foster's been down the last 2 weeks.
Well, because of the irregular heartbeat, hopefully he's back to normal by Saturday.
And Jonathan Joseph's back from his injury, so he'll be on green. I'm taking Texans. I don't see the Bengals coming out just on top this week.
It's probably arguably the least intriguing game of the weekend. You guys
I agree.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because it's the Texans and the Bengals. I do want to give a little credit to Marvin Lewis. This is the first time, I think, in franchise history, back-to-back playoff years.
Well deserving. Good job for Andy Dalton and and Zimmerman. Of talks of how Zimmerman hasn't had head coaching interviews or yet, and pretty much bringing a defense with no names other than Atkins and Newman and Pac-Man, Ray Malaluga. I'd rather have 3 or 4 names, but the average football fan doesn't really know who they are.
If you go to the average football fan and say, name 5 Cincinnati Bengals right now.
Or even Houston Texans, if I still think David Carr's in town.
Right. David Carr. Still laying on the turf in Houston. Another matchup Saturday is going to be the rematch from Week 17. The Minnesota Adrian Petersons versus the Green Bay Packers. I'm actually intrigued by this game. I think the Vikings, they've been playing well recently.
They have.
Ponder actually looked pretty good last week. I watched the second half of that game, and Ponder made some big throws. After the Packers tied the game, Ponder came out, first play action, I think it was about 40 yards downfield. Perfect pass. They're going in with confidence. The Packers are at home. They haven't really enjoyed playing playoff games at home. The last 2 have been against the Giants, and, well, we know what happened in those. They're going to pack the box, the Packers, stop Peterson, but nothing can stop Peterson. Year after surgery. Green Bay by 8. I'm going to take the Vikings to cover, but the Packers to win the game.
Okay. I think the Packers are just going to flat out destroy them. Well, beat them. Because last week, granted they wanted to play for a bye week, obviously understandable, but they knew they were going to already make the playoffs. The Vikings are the home team. They had their crowd ready to go, winning in. There was no way the Vikings were going to fall flat on their face, no matter how good the Packers are. The Packers are coming back healthy, rejuvenized. They know pretty much the game plan is going to be the same. They're going to take out a couple of things that obviously didn't work, but another week preparing for the Minnesota Vikings, pretty much one-dimensional offense because Percy Harvin is hurt still. I think the Packers are just going to roll and start a hard streak for them.
I think it's going to be a close game. I mean, closer than... because Peterson's ran for 409 yards this season on the Packers in 2 games. That's an unbelievable amount of yards. Because Peterson's great, hands down. Probably, definitely the best running back in the league. Ponder's been looking well last week, but, Jordy Nelson's back healthy now. Cobb's going to come back from injury because Cobb was out last week.
Woodson's also supposed to play.
Woodson's right there. Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago. Packers are going to win the game. I'm taking the Vikings plus the 8.5 though, and Packers going to win in a close game.
Packers are going to win. Sunday's got 2 fun games. I think I'm the most excited about those 2 games on Sunday. First you have Chuck Strong in Baltimore. Very excited about that game. I want to see, it was announced yesterday, Wednesday this week, Ray Lewis's final season. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Will the Ravens come out flying, hot, be ready to go? pumped up because he's playing and at home. They're going to bring a lot of pressure to Luck. It's all going to come down to how he handles big stage playoff pressure. One of the easier schedules in the league this year. They also have Chuck Pagano on their side. Chuck Strong going this year. Baltimore by 7. I do think the Ravens are going to win. It's just going to be too much. Torrey Smith's going to play. Bolden's going to play. Pinta. They just have too much in Baltimore for the Colts to handle. Ravens covering.
Ravens. All right. I'm trying to
you've
be
been Chuck
difficult.
Strong all day.
I've been Chuck Strong all season long, but I don't see them. It's gonna be crazy in Baltimore. Because people in Baltimore still hate the Colts for leaving Baltimore. Forgot to mention that. So add that to the playoff intensity the crowd's gonna bring. Plus, Ray Lewis coming back, which could ultimately be his last game / last home game in a Baltimore Ravens jersey. And put those two factors together, I hope the Colts show up, but it's going to the Ravens are going to win. It's all about Flacco. If they keep Rice, give him the ball. Like we said 2 weeks ago when they beat the Giants, Flacco is making throws that you never saw Flacco make before. And the receivers making sick grabs. I think Ray Lewis is that kind of guy. He doesn't even have to be normal Ray Lewis. He can just wear his shoulder pads and do nothing, but his team elevates to a whole different level. That's why I'm taking the Ravens. I hate to go against Chuck Strong because that story is phenomenal, but they can build that story for the next couple of years. It's now or never for the Ravens, so I'm going with Ravens.
Flacco's also a free agent at the end of the year,
big.
so he's playing for a contract. Matt?
Well, I'm going to be the odd one here. I'm taking the upset. I think Indy's going to do it. Luck's been on a roll as of late, coming back from the fourth quarter comebacks. That's what his game has been this season. Yeah, granted, the Ravens can come out like they did 2 weeks ago and just blow the doors off of Indy. I don't see that happening. But Flacco's been struggling actually down the stretch, except for that Giants game. He hasn't been the same as he was in the beginning of the year. Yes, they're at home, where they've actually lost more games this season than they did the last two combined. I'm taking Indy. I think they're going to do it. The defense, Freeney's going to get to Flacco, and T.Y. Hilton's going to play a major role in this game.
What's the spread in that game?
7.
7? Alright. I take Ravens, but the Colts cover.
Okay, so Ravens win. Now to the final game of the weekend.
Most exciting game of the weekend. By
Hands
far.
down.
Oh,
Rookie,
no question.
much better all-rookie matchup from last year of Andy Dalton and Tyler Yates.
TJ
Yates.
Third round pick, right? Russell Wilson?
Yep.
Yeah.
Third rounder versus the number 2 pick overall, RG3. Washington earned this home game. I'm not even going to argue that. They earned the NFC East. I'm petrified of them for the next couple of years. But that's not what we're talking about. Redskins hosting the Seahawks. Seahawks by 3 is the spread.
The only road team favored.
Only road team favored. Coming West Coast to East Coast, which is interesting.
Not a good road team to begin with.
But honestly, it's a 1 o'clock game or start.
That's
for
why
them,
they're playing.
So it's not the end of the world. It could have been worse that they're at body clocks thinking, oh, we're playing at 9 a.m. Well,
Think about the last couple of weeks. They played the Bears at 1.
Yeah.
And they won.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm torn. And if I say one thing, everybody's going to see, oh, you're giant biased. But I see the Seahawks going into DC and upsetting the Redskins. Well, they're not really upsetting. They're the favorites. But I can see them coming into DC and making it competitive. Their defense has been strong all year. Marshawn Lynch is the beast. And Russell Wilson can make plays just as much as RG3. So this is going to be a good old gunslinger matchup with two athletic quarterbacks with great running games. And it's just going to be a great game. I'm excited. I'm going to say Seahawks find a way to take care of business.
It's going to be fun. Basically, it's going to come down to the passing games and the defenses, because they're both going to try and stop the run. Both teams have been out of this world when it comes to the run this year. Morris was just...
If there wasn't an RG3 or a Doug Martin
or Russell Wilson or Locke...
It was a great year for rookies, but Morris is the dark sheep of the draft this year, the bigger sleeper of a 6th-round draft pick. Rushing, this is the second leading rusher in the league next to Peterson, and he's better than Marshawn Lynch. So.
I'm going to hear it. Oh, Redskins, you're a Giants fan, you're not supposed to pick them. I just think that it's going to be one of those, the crowd's going to build them, and it's going to take this game over and win the game. Because they're going to look, because everybody says how great Seattle's crowd is, 12th man, 12th man, 12th man. Redskin fans are going to take that to heart this week. They haven't hosted a playoff game since '99. This is their game. This is the Super Bowl of the year for them. They want this game. They're going to win this game. Seattle has probably the brightest future I've seen out of a team this year, though. Defensive is stat. Offensive, get Wilson a receiver besides Sidney Rice. Sidney Rice is good, but he's not an elite. Get him a receiver, and they'll be good in the future. I'm going to take Redskins.
I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks. I think, they're on the road. They haven't been playing the best on the road. They're 8-0 at home this season. But RG3 hasn't played the same since he took that hit. Cousins played that one, the rest of that game and won that game. Then Cousins won the next game. Then he came back. Griffin you see him go to the corners and the sidelines a lot now. He isn't taking that hit with his knee and everything, and that concussion from earlier in the season. I think Seattle's offense, as long as Seattle defense could put a hand on Alfred Morris, like the Cowboys did last week, then Redskins could do it. But I think it'd be Seattle. I think Lynch is going to go off. Russell's going to do what he has to do to win, and the defense with Sherman playing after that overturned steroids case, he's been had a great season this season. I'm picking Seattle, and obviously they're going to cover.
It's going to be a fun weekend. Now we're going to have a little bit of fun with the rest of the playoffs. We're going to do awards. Then we'll let you two fight about the BCS game. We are back with the Sndpodcast Show on the Schmuck Sports Network. We are going to do the rest of the playoffs now. Yes, we know there's reseeding, so we have our wildcard picks. We have a bracket up. We're going to be able to do it. We'll go one by one. We're going to go AFC Patriots first. By the way, I would like to thank Kayla, Matt's girlfriend, for taking the notes and keeping everything so we can post this so everyone can follow around. Thank you. Big Patriots fan, of course. First, we're going to start with Matt. You're going to have New England playing the Texans. Floor is yours.
Rematch of what happened in the regular season. The Texans, yeah, they're going to get by the Bengals, but that's it now. No, Tom Brady's rolling. Gronk's healthy. Hernandez is healthy. Better than he's been the last 6 weeks. Defense is playing great. Akeem Talib was a key, underrated pickup of the season. Play corner. Too much to handle. Houston, they're not what they were at the beginning of the season anymore. Their weaknesses are showed now, and Tom's going to explode on that like he does best.
Dan will also have the Texans versus the Patriots.
I'm also like Matt. The Patriots are not maybe run over. The Patriots are definitely going to take care of business against the Texans, especially how shaky the Texans have been as of late. The Patriots have something to prove, and they're definitely going back to the AFC Championship game. There's no doubt about it. Gronk's going to be back. Their full weaponry on offense, and their defense is stepping up at the right time. So, I go with New England. So New England is punching their ticket to either a home game or a road to Mile High.
I picked the Bengals in the Houston game, so they're going to go to Denver. So I'm going to have the Ravens versus the Patriots. Rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. Ravens lost by Lee Evans not holding the ball and the kicker not making the kick. I don't think it'll be that close this year. New England's just going to... Belichick's already preparing. He has game plans set for every matchup possibility for him. Patriots are winning. It's not even a question. They win their first playoff games every year. 2-team. Patriots move on. So that will leave for me the Bengals at Broncos. Peyton's on a roll. Mile High City. Mile High is going to be rocking. They're ready for this. They haven't had, I think it was a bye week in the playoffs since '98 when they won the Super Bowl with John Elway. Peyton Manning's going to go in there. He's going to destroy the Bengals left and right. He, just like Belichick, is already working on film, already getting ready for any team he has to face. So it'll be Denver, New England, in my opinion, for the AFC. Dan will have Denver, Baltimore.
I think the Colts have, just with Peyton being Peyton at home, I think the Broncos are going to take it against the Ravens. It's going to be a good matchup. That's going to be a better matchup than the Texans-Patriots. But the Broncos do take it because they're the home team and Peyton's Peyton and he's a wizard. And there's no way that Flacco can keep up with Peyton Manning.
Matt now will have the Peyton Manning's former team, the Indianapolis Colts, versus the Peyton Manning's current team, Denver Broncos.
That'd be awesome to see if that would happen.
Nothing will be sweeter than for me to watch Indianapolis march into Denver and take out Peyton with luck. That would be awesome if it happened, but unfortunately I don't see that happening because Peyton Manning's just on a roll right now. Nothing's stopping him. The offense is clicking like they're getting like at least 30 points a game, it feels like. They're not giving up anything either. With Dumberville back this season and Von Miller, the defenses are playing amazing. And Decker, Demaryius Thomas, Jacob Tamme, he's got too many weapons. They're not even running the ball. It's just throw. I don't see how Denver can lose this game.
So we all have Denver and New England. Since we're in the AFC, we're going to keep the AFC matchups going. Championship game, live from Mile High, Denver, New England. Everybody predicted this. Brady and Peyton, rematch.
Bum, 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 bum.
Best two games you wanted to see. Best two teams. You want to see them playing. I think that New England's going to have a little bit of trouble going into Denver and with the air. And I just think Denver is just on that roll this year. One of those storybook seasons. And I think Denver is going to the Super Bowl. Dan?
Alright, here comes the curve. Does New England keep their magical powers over Peyton Manning? That is the billion-dollar question. Early in the season, that was their last loss of the year up to this date for the Broncos. Then they got killed by the Patriots. This is a toss-up game for me. I'm gonna go with New England because they have a lot of redemption and a lot of bad taste in their mouth, losing to the Giants last year. And Tom Brady needs to win another Super Bowl, especially on what happens the last two Super Bowl trips. Belichick does it again to Peyton, and the Broncos lose in an upset to the Patriots.
Now time for the hear what the Jeff fan has to say.
It's Peyton versus Brady over and over and over. It's all we've been seeing for the past however many years. I think Denver's clicking right now. Yeah, they lost to win the regular season, but Denver's clicking. New England's clicking. Peyton's not a good playoff quarterback. His record-wise is not anywhere near the way he plays in the regular season. I just think that Denver's clicking too much right now. Being at home, you're not in Foxborough like he's been all those years. I'm picking Denver for the Super Bowl. They would beat New England.
Now we're going to go over to the NFC. Dan, we're going to start with you.
Seahawks versus the Falcons. Right?
Is that the one you get?
Yeah. Because I had the Niners.
You have the Packers, Niners, Seattle, Atlanta. We're going to do the two seeds first. We'll go over seeds up.
Okay.
So San Francisco hosting the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh. Alright. I'm going to stick with my NFC Super Bowl pick from the early in the season. I'm going to say that the Packers are going to beat the... it's going to be a nice spread, but they're going to be underdogs in this game against the 49ers. And I think they're just going to be ready to go. They're going to get hot and run through the AFC. The Niners defense is going to make it interesting, but the Packers offense is just too much, and they're going to find a way to keep Kaepernick contained.
Matt, you have the same matchup. San Francisco, Green Bay.
I think it's going to be the opposite. I think San Francisco's a better team now with Kaepernick. Yeah, Alex Smith is a good game manager. He plays to win, like they all do, but he plays to control the game better than what Kaepernick does. But Kaepernick's got a cannon of an arm, and he's finding what Alex Smith forgot who he has, and Michael Crabtree, who's been having sensational down the stretch.
He's woke up since Kaepernick's become
Kaepernick's taken away for what Alex Smith had with Vernon Davis. You can't find him anymore, but he's picked up with Crabtree, and Randy Moss has been playing well too. He's been catching a couple balls a game, which he's more than what he's did in the first half of this season. Green Bay is good, offense is rolling. The defense is too shaky right now. It's going to be a good matchup, I think, because San Francisco's home. The crowd's going to be wild again. They want to get revenge. Well, not revenge on Green Bay, but they want to get revenge as in, like, make up for last year's mistakes with Kyle Williams. They want to get it this season. They want to be playing in it. I think they're gonna beat the Packers.
I actually have the San Francisco versus the Redskins in this. I think that San Francisco is going to be too much for RG3. If anybody can stop RG3, you got to think it's the Niners defense. Top 3 in the league. All around. They're playing better this year on offense. Totally different team than they were last year. I just think that San Francisco is just going to be too much for Washington. All due respect, London Fletcher, respect the guy, deserves to win. But I think San Francisco is just too much. Kaepernick's been doing great. Gore's going to run it. I just don't think they have enough of a defense, Washington, to stop them. So I'm going to take the Niners to go to the NFC Championship game. For the next matchup, Matt, we'll start with you. Seahawks at Atlanta.
This could be a great matchup. And Seattle's used to playing in a loud stadium, but they're always the home team. Atlanta's in a dome now, and Matt Ryan isn't losing a dome. His record inside at home it's something like 38-4, something like that. He's just having an incredible season this year. He's
never
finally
won a playoff game.
That is true. He's never won a playoff game, but as well as playoff games, has he been home?
He had the one
home. Yes,
they were the one team a couple years ago.
Yeah. The Packers.
And they got upset, but he's just clicking right now. Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez. If Turner ever can figure out what he has been, it'd be a huge upgrade. Russell Wilson coming into Ruckus Arena and being a rookie quarterback, playing against a good defense in Atlanta. I think Atlanta's just going to be too much, and I'm taking Atlanta as much as I love the Seahawks this whole season. I'm taking Atlanta.
Dan, you have the same matchup.
Just like Matt, pretty much what he said. I'm agreeing with all of it. Atlanta's going to be too much. They have to prove something. They just need that one playoff win. And they get it at home this time against the Seahawks. It's going to be another tough matchup because the Seahawks are tough to the very last second of every game. But the Falcons have too much on offense. So I'm sticking with Falcons. Matt Ryan and then that core of Falcons are going to get their first playoff victory.
I have the rematch from 2 years ago. Packers at Atlanta. I'm going to stick with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Atlanta hasn't played a big game this year. Atlanta just hasn't played a big game. They haven't played anybody good, except for the Giants, arguably. They haven't played that big game. They haven't really even blown out a team except for the Giants. They've lost to Tampa. Should have lost the Panthers twice.
Should have lost Arizona.
I think Green Bay is just the better team. So I'm going to go with the San Francisco hosting Green Bay NFC Championship game. And you both have Atlanta winning and San Francisco winning. So, who wants to start?
Matt can start.
All right. I think this is where the end of the road this season for Matt Ryan comes. I think San Francisco comes in there. Aldon Smith. It sucks that Justin Smith isn't healthy. But Patrick Willis, there's too much on defense to get. They're gonna get right through him. Kaepernick has just been a savior for this team. Not really a savior, but Alex Smith had a good season. Of course, the concussion doesn't really help him. Then he loses his job like this, and he probably got his ticket out of San Fran after this season. But I think with the way Matt Ryan, he plays well at home, but like Steven said, it's just too many mistakes this season against too many shoulda, coulda, woulda. I don't know how they won, but it ended up winning. But I think San Francisco comes into town and punches their ticket to go to New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Pretty much, I have the Falcons versus Packers in the Dome. Pretty much what I think. I'm sticking with my Super Bowl pick. The Packers been there, done that. It's going to be a high-scoring matchup, but Aaron Rodgers comes through at the end like the stud quarterback he is over Matt Ryan. The crowd's going to be pumped up. It's going to be a crazy matchup. Definitely a pretty bold prediction on my part, but the Packers are going to take it, and they're going to be facing the New England Patriots in New Orleans for my prediction.
San Francisco, Green Bay. In San Francisco. This is the matchup I want to see. Because you're going to take an amazing defense, amazing offense, and you're going to clash them. And that's always fun. You always want to see who's going to come out on top in that situation. Aaron Rodgers is just on fire. They have a better defense. No, actually, they don't have a better defense, the Packers. San Francisco has a better defense. Yeah, San Francisco can run the ball and keep the Packers off the field, but I still think the Packers are just the hot team. Packers, Broncos, Super Bowl. That's going to be my prediction right now. Matt, you have Atlanta...
San Francisco
versus Denver, Super Bowl. What do you got?
Well, Peyton
from New Orleans.
Peyton comes in, 1-1 career in Super Bowls.
Don't forget hometown.
From New Orleans. Peyton.
Yep, where his father played. Denver's been clicking. San Francisco's been clicking. Their offenses are two great offenses. Their defenses are great. I'm taking the Niners. I think they have a better running game than what Denver has, where therefore Denver lacks the running game. With McGahee tearing his ACL, that means no Sean Moreno has to run. He's running in the last month of the season, but he's not McGahee. Then neither of them are Frank Gore. I think San Francisco's offense is, you really can't say better because you are dealing with Peyton, who's probably arguably the best quarterback to play the game. But I think overall it comes down to it's going to be a closer game. It's going to be more defense on it actually than offense, which is surprising with any game that Peyton's involved in. But I think taking Kaepernick and the boys.
Dan.
Alright, this is a tough one. There's no way New England could lose 2 Super Bowls in a row. Can you? I just can't see that. As much as I like the Packers as a sleeper and how hot I'm thinking they're gonna be, New England is not losing back-to-back Super Bowls. Therefore, New England is gonna find a way at the end of the game with Tom Brady getting redemption from Tyree's helmet catch and Manning placing catch to Manningham, and they're gonna pull up the win against the Packers. But it's gonna be an entertaining Super Bowl, pretty much what the Cardinals-Steelers Super Bowl was from a couple years back. But I'm gonna have to go with my gut on this, saying New England. There's just no way they're losing back-to-back Super Bowls.
Broncos, Packers. Peyton returns home, like we said before. I think arguably Aaron Rodgers could end up being what Peyton is.
Yeah.
At the end, when you look back, you're going to compare the two of them together. I don't see Denver losing though. Peyton is going to win the Super Bowl, and you're going to get one of the biggest stories of all time. 3 neck surgeries, changing teams after all those years, Super Bowl champs. Defense is just crazy. I don't trust the Green Bay Packers defensive line too nicely, especially with Von Miller and Dumerville. So I'm going to take the Broncos in New Orleans over the Packers, Super Bowl champions. Well, those are your picks for the S&D podcast on the Schmuck Sports Network. We're going to talk some other stuff now. We're going to do the awards and stuff. We are back on the Sndpodcast Show on the Schmuck Sports Network. We're going to do awards, predictions for awards. First one we're going to do, one of the more intriguing ones, Comeback Player of the Year. Let's start with Matt.
Comeback Player of the Year, I think it's going to be Peyton. You know, it's down to Peyton and AP. There's nobody else comeback-wise. AP, yeah, it's incredible. You know, December, tearing his ACL, coming back and doing the season he had. Peyton missed a full year off neck surgery. Probably, some doctors said he wasn't even going to be able to throw again. Therefore, he just proved everybody wrong by going 13-3 and having a sensational season. So, Peyton's my comeback player of the year.
Dan?
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go AP. Just 7 yards short from Dickerson and getting 2K for rushing in the season. He's just a monster by itself, and coming out of a serious knee injury, it's very rare to come by.
I actually am going to go with AP also. 9 yards short from breaking the single season rushing record, which the final game was exactly 1 year coming off ACL, MCL, an entire leg surgery. So I'm going to go with AP as well. Next one we're going to do, which is going to be an interesting one, Coach of the Year. Yeah.
I would say originally Arians / Pagano, just for the crazy year they've had. But realistically, it's gonna come down to John Fox on how hot they've gotten. They've won the last 11 in a row. So I hope Pagano and Arians win it, but it's gonna be John Fox at the end of the day.
Matt?
See, yeah, I'm agreeing also with John Fox winning 13-3 after getting fired / mutual agreement, primarily fired over in Carolina. Going 13-3, best record in the league. He's probably going to win Coach of the Year. This would have been Kubiak's if he didn't fail down the stretch.
Absolutely.
I think Pete Carroll's going to get some votes, and so is Mike Shanahan.
And don't forget,
besides Pagano and Arians, as you said, Dan.
And don't forget Smith.
Mike Smith, yeah. But whereas I come with Atlanta, I kind of see them as they were predicted to be the best in the AFC from the beginning of the season, so therefore that was what they were supposed to be. Whereas Denver was predicted to win the division, but not like that. Not to be 13-3. I mean, they were 8-18 last year with Tebow. Now, Peyton got them 5 more wins. So, and overall, John Fox will win. But, like I said, Pete Carroll and Mike Shanahan, besides Pagano and Arians, will get votes.
I'm going to give you my surprise. This is going to be my surprise pick. The name probably not too many people are going to throw out there for this award. And it's actually a coach I don't even really like. But Pete Carroll. and what he did there in Seattle. A team arguably nobody predicted to even have 9 wins, even 8 wins this year. Actually, Bill Simmons said that they could be a Super Bowl team with Russell Wilson. Quarterback, rookie. Barely any receivers. Took a team. Great defense. I think Pete Carroll can end up winning Coach of the Year. That's my pick for Coach of the Year.
That's what I'm rooting for to win Coach of the Year. But I'm kidding.
Now we're going to do rookies. I'm going to start, because I'm going to throw the name out there. The defensive rookie, a huge player in the season because of Ray Lewis being out. Courtney Upshaw, Baltimore Ravens. He stepped up. They needed a guy to play. He played well. So he will be my defensive rookie of the year.
Mine's a little bit more of a sleeper pick and unconventional that no one's really talking about. But mine's going to be Luke Cayley from the Carolina Panthers. He had 165 tackles combined this year for the Carolina Panthers. If that doesn't say Rookie of the Year, nothing else does for defensively. So I'm going Luke Cayley, defensive Rookie of the Year.
I'm going with Bruce Irvin over in Seattle. He was a major piece to that defense down the stretch. He didn't start, came off, but he played a lot. He was key in that defense, which was stellar down the stretch. But that's why I'm going with Bruce Irvin.
Alrighty, we're going to stay with defensive players for now. Defensive Player of the Year. Basically, you have about, I'm going to say it's going to come down to 3 guys. J.J. Watt,
Alden Smith,
Von Miller. It was my pick. Von Miller. Defensive Player of the Year. I also want to see them give him the award and see if he has a sack dance, because he's had some pretty funny sack dances. I just think he was all over the place. He's earned this award. Von Miller, Defensive Player of the Year.
Alright, I'm going with a different angle. I'm going with J.J. Watt. He's just an absolute monster. Even though Texans are slumping as of late, he's still a monster and dominating and swatting balls and getting sacks and stopping the run. So J.J. Watts is my defensive MVP.
I'm going to agree with Dan there. I'm picking J.J. Watt. He finished the season 2 sacks shy of the sack record, and I'm sure if they weren't free-falling, they would have been playing a lot better, and he would have got those 2 sacks and broke Strahan's record. Being at that Jet-Texan Monday night game, I've watched him swap balls of Sanchez down all night. There's nobody that's a better DN right now in the league. This is his season to win the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going with J.J. Watt.
Okay. Offense. Before we do rookie, we're going to do offensive player. Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to give it to Tom Brady. If it wasn't for Peterson, Manning, having those years, he could have probably won an MVP. But I just think that Tom Brady was one of the top players this year and has earned Offensive Player of the Year.
I'm going to go with AP for the season he had. 2,000 plus yards, and this was basically all down the last stretch. I mean, he was accumulating yards all season, but where he really turned it into high gear was down the stretch when they needed him the most. He's offensively had a brilliant season, and probably right behind, up there with Dickerson, obviously, as one of the best seasons of a running back he's ever had, period. Well, AP.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip-flop with Matt. I had AP as the comeback player. I'm gonna go with Peyton with the MVP.
This is an MVP.
What?
This is Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not MVP.
Anyway, okay. I'm still going with Peyton. 3 neck surgeries, still 37 TDs, brand new system, and just still going where he left off with the Colts.
So, leading into MVP, we'll do MVP right now. Peyton?
Sweet. Yeah, Peyton's gonna get MVP. What I just said.
I'm going with AP.
I think Peyton's getting an MVP this year. He's earned it. Like Dan said, 3 neck surgeries, new system. Insanely good year. Now the most, I think, intriguing award of the season this year. Arguably the best draft class we've ever seen. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Matt, floor is yours.
I'm going to throw the curveball. I'm going Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson just tied Peyton Manning's rookie quarterback touchdown record of 26 touchdowns this season. Andrew Luck's thrown more interceptions of all 3 of them, and RG3 missed the second half of a game, and then missed the overtime of a game. He's missed too much time. Cousins played great in his spot too, which kind of hurts him for this. I think so. Russell Wilson, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and the running game. His running game has been great this season too, whereas Luck doesn't have a running game, really.
The Offensive Rookie of the Year, like Matt and Steve said, it's the toughest. This year has been a very great year with offensive rookies with RG3, Andrew Luck, and Russell Wilson. And rookies, running backs of Wilson, Wilford, Morris, and Martin. I'm gonna have to go with RG3 from the sheer fact how much he changed the culture of DC and how they became a contender this year with the playoffs. So I'm going RG3.
I'm going to go Luck. Andrew Luck is going to be the Rookie of the Year. I think he took the lesser of the 3 teams, you can argue.
Yeah.
2-14 last year.
2-14. Not too much talent around him, if you really want to think about it. No running back. Wilson had Lynch. RG3 had Morris. Morris rookie.
His favorite target this year was a rookie in Indianapolis, T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. Hilton. I just think Luck has earned it. First pick, Rookie of the Year. That's going to be all we're going to do for the NFL. 2 intriguing college football matchups this weekend.
Alright, we're leading off with the Cotton Bowl. It's going to be Texas A&M versus the Oklahoma Sooners. The Heisman Trophy winner, Johnny Manziel versus freshman man, versus Landry, who's seems to be a college football player for the last 7 years for Oklahoma. It's going to be a good quarterback duel, but Johnny Manziel is the Heisman, and you got to give him his respect. So he's going to find a way and beat Oklahoma in this game. That's pretty much I've heard.
I think A&M. I take Manziel and A&M.
If Johnny Manziel coming a freshman going to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama, why can't he beat Oklahoma? Winning the Heisman's high off that now. A&M's going to come in, take care of business.
And I think it's like
Johnny Heismanziel.
Every Heisman Trophy's won their bowl game. Past like 5 years, I think it is.
It's a good stat.
Alrighty. Dan, game you've been waiting
for the last month.
It's a whole new season. Ready, Dan? Floor is your court. Give Notre Dame the motivational pregame speech.
Well, I'm not really gonna hype them up like a Rudy. Pretty much, just keep on playing the way they've been playing this whole entire year. They've played their hearts out every minute of every game. It's gonna be tough. They're 9-point underdogs. No one's expecting them to win except the hardcore fans. Just show up, give everything they got, just leave no doubt on the field. They have a great defense. If their defense shows up and we can get our running game going, the Notre Dame can take care of business. But that being said, Alabama is a beast of their own, and Nick Saban had over a month to prepare for Everett Golston, who is very shaky the last few weeks. The last few games, granted, a few weeks was like 2 months ago. So the dark horse for this game for Notre Dame to do anything good is Golston and how he handles himself. 9 out of 10 times, that one time was Johnny Manziel, with Alabama losing to a freshman, especially with Nick Saban. I just think Notre Dame has been fighting all year. Every game they've been close in the majority of the game. And a lot of the games they were underdogs. So I think Notre Dame is mentally tough and ready for this game to hopefully pull out the upset.
Matt, you're pulling for Alabama. There you go.
It's a Roll Tide thing. You know, Nick Saban, he's been here before. He won it last year. Why? He let the freshman quarterback in Manziel, who had a sensational game that game where he just came in and wiped the floor with Alabama. But AJ McCarron's been playing lights out the last month, which seems to feel like it's been like 3 months, really, with how long the gap is from last game of the season to BCS championship game. I mean, Alabama's 9-point favorites for a reason, but if it wasn't, I still think, if Notre Dame plays USC like they did last game and Barkley's healthy, you don't even see Notre Dame in this game against Alabama. Alabama plays another SEC team probably Georgia, possibly, but doesn't mind that. SEC obviously is a tougher division than what Notre Dame's been playing this year. With Notre Dame had that controversial win against Stanford, and they had the struggle against SC, and then Pitt. They played well against Oklahoma and won that game. But Alabama, that last week was the last game was their big one. They came in and they beat Georgia.
I think Georgia would have won if they had that one extra timeout, but they didn't. That was a great game. But it's going to be a good game. It's up to ND if they're going to show up or not and put up a fight. I'm not going to... It just depends with my attitude coming out. It's going to be a tough game. If Notre Dame happens to lose and it's a tough lose, like they played hard, you can't really be mad. Coming from a Notre Dame fan, I did not expect this. I didn't even expect them to be in any BCS game, let alone the national championship. Just play well, play with everything you got, and let's hopefully party for a national champion, which would be awesome because it would be my first time experiencing a Notre Dame national championship because they won when I was 1 year old. So obviously I wasn't around, and that would be their 12th national championship, which would be nice to bring home.
David versus Goliath.
Essentially.
Super Bowl 42.
Yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it. A lot of chips have to go to the right for Notre Dame, but they can So hopefully the Luckily Irish, no pun intended, takes care of business. Irish.
I just think Nick Saban.
Too much time to prepare for this game.
Way too much time.
Yeah.
Michigan fan. I mean, he had a full off season to prepare for Michigan, and look at what he did to them. Destroyed them. So, I'm gonna have to go with Alabama for this game. Well, guys, that's the show for this week. The S&D podcast on the Schmuck Sports Network. I would like to thank first off the band again, Division 1.1. Check them out. Great guys. Great guys who love to rock. They just rock and party. That's what they do. And I would also like to thank Matt for being here.
I'd like to thank you guys for having me on, being a guest.
Our pleasure.
Great time. This was the S&D podcast brought to you on the Schmuck Sports Network.
Good night.
S&D podcast is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Football League or any of its affiliates.